Right? Meow?
Try refreshing. It says that it's up now.
Hey!
Yay! Okay, we're back. That was a full-on
We are
internet
back.
poopy on my
Harry
side.
apologizes for ruining the internet.
It's the computer got freaked out by hearing its own kind speak to it in such a way. Right.
Sorry.
First, huge thank you to Amon Milliner, who pushed us over the 3,000 mark. It was on YouTube, but I will, throw it in later if we don't meet it on the actual Extra Life side. So huge thank you to Amon. We reached the 3,000, meaning we're gonna do something. I'm gonna do something with Hayden, or Hayden's gonna do something for everybody as far as like voice acting is concerned, which is gonna be awesome. So huge thank you there. Yeah.
Yeah.
Also, we reached 3 times the original goal, and I'm very proud of that. So well done, everybody. Right.
Good job.
Where did it cut off for everybody?
Getting drunk.
I think, yeah.
I'm
Yeah, I
pretty
think
sure
we
you
were
left off describing how Brooke was about to go mental on that cask.
Gotcha. Yeah. Brooke, you, again, this is all you can do to stop yourself from drinking the entire cask. The stream water that you're used to drinking just doesn't compare. As such, the town kind of looks at you, Pasquale, and Shayna, who are the imbibers of this alcohol, which is the pride and joy of their town, for a reaction.
Who made this batch?
Just gonna pull the vine thing. A small halfling woman moves over and says, I did.
Is she older and or frail?
No, she's quite young, actually. Looks to be new into the trade.
He's gonna like, God, he has to get like way down, big old, like he'll hug her and the cask.
She,
This is
as she kind of freaks out, thinking you're angry at her and gonna squish her for a moment, you hug her and the cask, and as you say, "This is delicious," you hear a loud triumphant "Yay!" and cheers going out from the crowd, as everyone is so happy that not only do they have the heroes like what they do. This will be a night for them to remember for a long time coming. As you all enjoy some merriment during this time, Brooke, obviously, you're going to have some more of that drink. It's so good. Pasquale, you already said that you're going to, and Shayna will imbibe with you as well. During what amounts to be a bit of merriment within the town, Roxanne, Squatchy, Terry, what are you all doing? How are you participating?
Free omelets for everyone. Woo! Woo!
Squatchy's gonna go ahead.
I think Roxanne's gonna go around casting Goodberry, refilling his hands, and just like dropping them into people's drinks. In his mind, he's augmenting the drink because now it's nutritious.
As it would be.
Hi guys,
Did
I
you want
finally made a
tomatoes
stream.
with your
Thank
omelet?
you for the amazing content.
He's
that
gonna be
massively
doing
helps
the
me
prep work for
de-stress
for
after
Terry.
my
He's gonna
exam.
be just
Smiling face.
kinda humming
Also
a
got my
tune
ribis
and chopping
sticker.
the tomatoes and the onions, handing out plates.
Also, Wyatt Holt, thanks for the dono on there. You rock. As basically the others who are not drinking are participating in cooking. Terry runs over to a nearby fire and basically sets up part of his armor like a little griddle to begin making omelets for those who want it.
It would actually be my shield.
Shield specifically part of his armor as he flips it upside down, uses a couple metal poles to hold it up by the little handle parts, and begins cooking on a shield. He can clean it later, it's not a big deal. Roxanne, you go augment everyone's drinks. Squatchy, you help Terry cut up all of the fine vegetables and eggs. The town is not used to being treated so well. More and more people bring out gifts to all of you. There's the fine casks of golden honey apple ale that they roll out. They seem to roll out 2 or 3 more of them, offering just a thank you. So Pasquale, Brooke, Shayna, you can drink more than your fill and take some in your future journeys with you. Some of them bring out fine gifts to all of you as well. They bring out bags, little chests full of gold and offerings. Probably in total throughout the night, you all gain about 550 additional gold to be split between all of you, and a couple of family heirloom rings and amulets, all of which those add up to about 1,000 gold on their own.
When nobody is looking, that gold pile is going to get bigger because Roxon still has gold and he wants nothing to do with gold. So he's going to dump his money into it. So the pile will increase by another 566 gold.
The pile increases proportionate to how all of your egos increase just a little bit. At this town essentially praising you as saviors of the village. After
Huzzah.
a night of dungeon delving, which lasted multiple days through the crypt, and essential merrymaking, what is it that you all want to be doing? What is something that you had hoped and wished throughout the entirety of your time in the dungeon that you would be able to get back to do? The first thing you do once you saw nightlight or daylight once more?
Get a good night's sleep.
Brooke, it's going to be very easy with how much drink you've had. As you keep downing the ale, your vision begins to fade. You have no problems getting a good night's sleep. Though where you get that good night's sleep might be questionable if you can make it up to your room without just falling asleep on the table.
Fine with the table.
Pasquale would definitely make sure she gets everybody, even if they're not drinking. He makes sure they get up to their rooms.
Okay, yeah, sounds good.
With
Terry?
weird conversation in the meantime.
Terry would, gather up the utensils that were used in the shield and just stand there, look out. Terry is powering down.
Terry eventually stops, pulls the shield off the fire, and in the center of town, powers down. During this state for a Warforged, correct me if I'm wrong, you're not aware of your surroundings, you just power off for a few hours, correct? You are muted.
Myself. There we go. Hello. Let's see. Finding things. Sentries rest. When you take a long rest, you must spend at least 6 hours in inactive, motionless state rather than sleeping. But in this state, you appear inert, but it doesn't render you unconscious, and you can see and hear as normal.
Fantastic. You are basically a little sentry bot. Squatchy, Roxon, what are you two doing for the rest of the night?
Squatchy.
All right, go ahead.
Squatchy's gonna pull out his playing cards and he's just gonna sit back and start playing a game of solitaire, and he's gonna just adorn these new rings that he got because it's just increasing his swag level, and he's gonna just enjoy it, have a little vanity, and just play some solitaire. He's gonna even light up a cigar and blow little smoke rings and just kick his big bugbear feet right up on a table and chillax. Yeah,
Roxon?
hard days of work.
You see your friend Squatchy doing exactly what he's mentioned to you over and over that he wants to do.
I'm gonna nod at him, and Roxon will go and find the least damaged or destroyed patch of grassland in the village, and he's going to use his druid craft to coax up some flowers and maybe a tree sapling, and that's pretty much his entire intent. Was he wanted to get some life going again, because not only is he a fairy, he's a druid. So that bringing life back to a place so ravaged, bringing it back into the balance as far as he's concerned is his priority. Once he's satisfied with that, he'll probably go find one of his companions and curl up on their shoulder and go to sleep.
As eventually you see Brooke passed out on a table, kind of just head down a small little pile of water genasi drool on the table, as you kind of just fall asleep on her shoulder before Pasquale wakes both of you up and says, like, all right, let's go. Let's get out of here. Let's go to bed.
If it was Brooke I found, how is her hair situated? Is it like tumbling over the side of the table?
You tell me, Brooke.
You know, like when you're at school and you like just put your head down to kind of like close your eyes and your hair is just like covering your entire face. That's what it looks like. You can't even see my face. It's just every.
Okay, but it's still all contained on the table then.
Yeah.
Okay. All right, then I won't do what I was thinking.
As
your hair looks like a water slide to Roxanne. He wants to try it.
I never thought I'd ask her if she wasn't a drunk, but she'll probably say yes now if I could just use her hair as a water slide one time.
Oh, he wasn't going to ask. He was just going to.
I was just going to do it. Yeah. Pasquale, you see your friends passed out. You don't want them to get in trouble or to get robbed. All right, you wake them up. Say, all right, you have room in the inn here. Let's take you up. And eventually, Brooke, your eyes kind of wake for a moment as you see Pasquale. You go, yeah, okay. Before following up to your room and passing out on your bed. Roxanne, you sit on a nearby nightstand and count that as your bed as well. Pasquale, you have your share of fun drinks, some more, I guess, rough games like arm wrestling that you can be doing with some of the locals who are just happy to be trying to arm wrestle such an immaculate hero, though they stand no chance. Before, eventually, in one way, shape, or form, sleep begins to take all of you. Terry, you're the only one sitting outside this late. You see a hustle and bustle of people out, so many people talking and thankful for everything that you've done. You stay powered down, but you can hear and see everything that's going on out there. You're right in the center of the town square. You see all the business going on. At one point, you see Shayna, who seems to lead out to the outhouse for a late night trip. There's many people bringing casks back and forth as if they were trading and kind of alive again in this village here. Before all of you seem to have a dream. Even you, Terry, who dreams of electric sheep. As you all have the vision of the Lich's skull in your mind. A black, empty void, but a dirty, old, boned skull with one ruby eye staring you with a cat hitting you right in the face. One ruby eye staring you down. Its eye begins to flash a bright red color, much like it did when you fought it before, trying to sap the life away from you before sleep takes you once again. All of you wake up covered in sweat. Terry, a little bit of motor oil has fallen out there, but, condensation. You were left out in the dew, early morning dew. The equivalent of sweat, a few code lines out of order. You all wake up just drenched with a feeling of just overall peril covering your bodies. Just the thought of seeing those ruby eyes again horrifies you. And seeing it so vividly in your dreams, it felt real, like it was staring you right into your soul, just like it did before.
Terry's gonna power up and today Satan no. And start like moving through the center of the town.
As you power up, not today, Satan, and you begin walking over towards the nearby inn. You all are staying at the Blue Dog Inn. It's one of the only inns here in town. Terry, you begin rushing quickly. A few small children that are up in the morning, walking from house to house, finally feeling safe enough to play in the mornings again. You could hear them go, Satan, as you rush on into the Blue Dog to find your companions. Terry, as you head on inside, there is the barkeep, of whom you have some rapport with before. The young halfling woman who fed your friends the golden ale sits there slowly trying to put one cask back up on the shelf, but doesn't have the strength to do it before she says, oh, screw it, and just kind of lets it fall onto the ground. Her hair kind of disheveled. She seems to have had a fun night with the booze as well. Everyone here in town did. What are you doing, Terry?
No. And running upstairs to go find my friend.
Terry, you kind of quickly go up each
Yeah,
single
not
step.
quite at all. Like in full plate mail and whatnot.
Which will
Just-
absolutely wake Roxanne up
Oh.
because your passive is way too high for that.
You all sit awake, drenched in sweat, as you hear the sounds of your mechanical friend going up the stairs and rushing down the hallway. He begins to knock frantically on all 5 of your rooms. Brooke, Roxanne, Squatchy, Pasquale, and Shayna. Just very mechanical, almost like Sheldon. Penny, before he moves on to the next room. Brooke. Yeah, exactly.
You just hear me groan because this is the first hangover I've ever had in my life, and I'm just like, oh my god.
You
Squatchy's gonna
understand.
stand up. and
You
he's
understand
gonna
what Squatchy and Pasquale had warned you about with drinking too much. It seemed worth it the night before, but it just wasn't this morning.
Squatchy's gonna stand up and go, "Oh, wee boy, got a thicker sweat than a fog on the bog back in the bayou. I tell you what." And he's gonna go and look and see if anyone else had is sweating like he was.
Why is it always the 2 dumb brothers?
Now,
It's in the name.
you guys would see that Roxanne's room does not open, but you start to hear tapping on the other side of the door.
Squatchy, you open the door and see Terry standing out there knocking on all of the other rooms. Brooke, you can hear Brooke sigh from inside her room, Terry. Pasquale, what are you doing?
He'd probably get up pretty quick and be like, "Oh God, that was a lot more than I thought." He'll get out. What?
Lich.
You saw that too? Yeah.
I do not dream. This is odd. I saw the Lich. In my
I
mind.
think that's a dream. Not 100%. Let's go get Brooke. She would know. But if he would hear Brooke like, ugh. We're both doing it. Brooke. Brooke.
Open the door. What?
Lich.
You're not sure how hair made out of water can look disheveled and shaggy, but this morning it does.
It's like just a bird's nest of water.
Exactly.
You saw it too last night?
Yes.
Specifically pointing at
Yeah.
Terry because I can't really fathom how what I know as a robot to be dreaming. What did
It
you see?
was intense. There was the eye and Lich, and I woke up with condensation coming down my face.
Out of character, just for context, did we? I don't know how much we know about liches, but did we kill his body, or did we kill the actual lich?
So,
Did we find his phylactery?
you all had never fought a lich before.
Okay. I just don't want to.
You took its head
No.
as a trophy. You destroyed every being about that lich. You burned his bones to the ground, save his head, which you wanted to keep to brag upon.
It's at this point Terry's gonna lift up the head of the Lich. This one here.
Terry, you reach in your bag where you expect to find the head of the lich.
It is gone. Oh no. It was
It's
here.
gone.
Yeah,
True. What's wrong with
Listen, I'm running on an hour of sleep since 9 a.m. yesterday.
Low battery.
Battery is low.
I do have a question for the group. Who would have slept with their window open?
No, I was too I unless it opened for me. No.
Scotchy would have. Because he
Okay.
was smoking a cigar, so he wanted the air to flow out.
Okay, so Roxanne is gonna come zooming in Squatchy's window, and he'll mutter some comment about not being able to open the door, and he's holding his spoon, saying, "Where's the lich's head?"
Clearly, it is gone. It is not in my bag.
I'm gonna grab Terry's bag and I'm gonna like
Yeah, roll an
dump it.
investigation.
I'm not even gonna ask. I'm just gonna pour the contents out and see if there's anything in with it.
That is
Absolutely, you
rude.
can.
Sorry.
So as you don't even need to investigate if you're just going to pour it all out onto the ground.
Yeah, I'm just gonna.
Absolutely. You immediately start pouring it out. Spare parts for Terry that are the equivalent of bandages for all of you. Some old rusted cogwheels, some springboards and mechanical components, some
That
silver
was
solder.
my favorite soap sculpture.
All fall onto the ground and spew across. A little vial of thick grease and oil splatters on the ground. It kind of pops open as Terry, this is the equivalent of losing a bit of a health potion as you kind of quickly put the lid
Can I
back
control
on.
water that back into the vial, or does that not count as water?
Sure, why not?
Okay.
As you throw it back in before he even has a chance to go down and freak out, you just throw it back in. Sorry, but where's the lich's head? As you look around, you find nothing in here until you keep shaking it. When suddenly, bing, 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 falling out of the bag is one ruby, round
There was two, right?
and large, in the bag.
Oh,
Is
Crap.
this the same ruby that was in the skull's head when we took it?
Roll a history check for me.
Oh no.
16?
16. This looks to be, at least on the surface of it, the exact same ruby as one of the two eye slots of the Lich. When you brought the trophy into the town, it had both rubies in its eyes.
what is the bartender's name again? The one who made the batch of the drinks.
Kilda. Qilda.
All right, Pasquale is gonna like kind of shovel everybody in Brooke's room. I don't even know if I can fit, but he's gonna try. We
Okay.
need to keep this from Kilda. This is some of the best drink I've ever had in my life. I don't want to have to give it back. Can we figure out where the head went?
I am so embarrassed that I lost it. I am now powering down. That's for Drew. I'll be right back.
Can we check Pasquale? Yeah, I want to check myself. Can we check the trash can for like fingerprints to see if he got messed with?
Do you know how to search for fingerprints?
Squatchy's gonna pull out his magnifying glass that he also actually had on him, and he's gonna start looking for clues. He's gonna sleuth.
What kind of clues are you looking for?
He's gonna look for fingerprints. Yeah, he likes the idea of that.
There is dust in this room, as largely it remained unused, as you didn't have a lot of visitors before. However, there are now 5 out of the 6 of your party stuffed into this room here. As you begin looking around, you see footprints, most of which you're all making currently here. There's dust off of the doorway handle, which, again, many of you touched. But there is also the open window on Pasquale's room.
Before we do anything else, I would like to cast Locate Object.
Okay. What are you looking for?
Let's look for the other ruby.
The other
Since
ruby?
there was 2 rubies, right?
Yeah.
Look for the other one.
Okay. You look around as you see Squatchy begin taking a magnifying glass to the footprint you made 3 seconds ago. and realize that it might be best that you magically orient where this other ruby is. As so, you kind of calm and center yourselves as the water, the water hair on you begins to flow and almost pull you down and out the door. As a droplet of water pulls off of your head and lands on the wooden floor and begins to almost roll as if magnetically pulled down and out the stairs. You're still behind the doorway, but you can see it slip underneath the door.
I'm gonna follow.
Okay. Brooke opens the door and heads out to follow the droplet of water.
Shouldn't we investigate this? Brooke.
As Brooke
You
continues,
can keep doing your thing. I'm gonna check this out real quick.
Roxanne's gonna follow Brooke, but he's imitating Squatchy. However, instead of a magnifying glass, he's trying to look through his spoon.
So he's just covering his eye.
Glass is not a concept he's overly familiar with, so as far as he's concerned, he's doing the same thing.
yeah. Fingerprints. That's how you look. You look at a thing and hope that there's fingerprints, and you walk around while you look at it.
Yep, that's what Squatchy's going to do at the open window of
Good.
Pasquale's.
Go ahead and roll me an investigation, Squatchy.
Cool. I'm glad the somewhat detective has no bonuses in an investigation. And that's a critical one.
He's like, yeah, well, as you wipe your hand on the dust on the windowsill, eliminating any evidence that there may once have been, you go,
He's going to sneeze the prints away.
You hold it. There's a bit of a draft as you try to look at the window. There may have been something there, but no longer will it be there.
Well, I did my best, boys. He's going to put the magnifying glass back in his pocket, and he's just going to pull out a deck of cards, and he's just going to start playing solitaire.
Brooke, you continue to follow the small droplet of water as it drips down the stairs and goes all the way down and out of the inn. You see Kilda back there working on some of the casks, but the droplet goes and out the front door.
Where is everybody?
Brooke has left as she's following a locate object spell as some of the water from her hair begins to lead her to the other ruby.
Is Roxanne still?
Yeah,
close behind?
he's still following, but he's kind of realized that he can't see very well, so he took his spoon and he just chucked it behind him and let his telekinesis catch it, so it's following.
Perfect.
Roxanne and Brooke are currently investigating this. Terry, Pasquale, and Squatchy are in the room as Squatchy sneezes and blows the dust away. Drew does not look surprised. Okay.
Not one bit.
Now, one thing I'm curious about, Brooke, with your hangover, how bad would you be moving? Are you like staggering about and stuff?
You have
I'm assuming how fast is this droplet moving? Like,
not very fast. You could walk and keep up with it. You have a pounding headache, but it's not debilitating, more like annoying.
I've got like my hand over my eyes to keep the sunlight out, and I'm just trying really hard to just only concentrate on this little droplet of water, not focus too much on anything else around.
Okay, so she's gonna look distressed enough as she's moving that Roxanne is gonna see it as his chance, and he's gonna zip up over her, and just as she's walking, he's gonna take a ride down the back of her head. But as he does it, he's laying his hands on her hair, and he's gonna cast Lesser Restoration.
Brooke, you feel a quick thump on the back of your head, and annoyance hits you. Roxanne is up. You never know what Roxanne's up to, nor the reasons why, but suddenly the headache that clouds your vision and mind and probably made you a little bit more quick to anger fades. As Roxanne must have been doing something to help you here. That must have been a
You can
purely
do it.
selfless act.
Right up until she hears the little whee.
just gonna
Do you-
look at him with like a half of a death glare. Thank you. Just keep walking.
Okay. Brooke, now that you're outside, this little drop of water looks and blends in with a lot of the dew that is on this grass here. And it begins to take you on the southern side of the building. It kind of, you can see it fall off of leaves every now and again. If it weren't for your keen connection to the water, it might even be hard to find, but you can watch it roll almost like a marble through the grass, leading you out past the southern part of this inn here and leading you somewhat away from town.
So they're getting like reasonably far away from us, right?
Correct.
Yeah, let me.
Okay. Yeah.
I'm gonna. I'm gonna turn around to Roxon, and I'm gonna very, very, very politely ask if I can borrow his wooden spoon. And depending on what he says,
He'll look at his wooden spoon and look at her, back at the spoon and look at her, and it'll slowly float around in front. And I want that back. I stole
I'll get
that
it
fair
back
and square.
if you don't get it back, I'll make you a new one. And I'm gonna grab it and I'm gonna stick it in the ground where I last saw the dewdrop, and I'm gonna start heading back to where we were staying, and I'm gonna try to gather the party so we can bring everyone with us, and I'll recast the spell. But I'm gonna do it fast because I know it's very possible this thing is moving.
The spell will stay on you. That drop of water is just the current thing leading you because you still hold on to locate object. So you'll go back to where the spoon is, but then at that point, essentially another droplet of water will fall from your hair for you to follow. So you won't need to recast it. But good to know that that's the plan. As Squatchy, you hold out some cards. Pasquale and Terry kind of look at you like, okay, as usual, I guess we'll just wait here before Brooke kind of quickly runs up to the room with Roxanne flying by to follow. Roxanne kind of keeps looking back as if like, I want to go get my spoon before they approach the room here.
Oh yeah, as they started to get too far away, he would turn around and he'd go back and he's just like flying circles over his spoon.
Okay, so Brooke returns to the room near all of you.
Yeah.
What are they doing? What are you?
Squatchy's playing cards. Pascal and Terry seem to just be waiting for you as if for news.
What is the news?
Whatever took the skull or the other ruby, I'm assuming they're together, is leading me out of, what was it, north, south?
South.
South, leading south out of town. I would rather go get it with the rest of you guys, since it took all of us to barely make it out alive the last time.
It is always best to not split a party. I agree.
Go for it. I don't care.
You guys ready to
We'll
go?
have a good time.
We are not the Red Wagon Inn. We don't do that.
Squatchy's
cops.
gonna be done with his cards. He's like, cards aren't in my favor today, this morning. And he's gonna shuffle them and put them back in his pocket and stand up.
I do not appreciate thieves.
Squally?
Coccyx is feeling much better, but you know, nobody.
As we're packing up, I'm gonna very slowly but surely start stepping backwards out of the room, kind of at a like a, okay, let's go. I'm gonna start walking down the stairs.
You kinda-
Squally will follow out. No, Brooke, it feels much better. I promise.
As Brooke kind of tries to get people to hurry up, as Squatchy kind of does things in his own time, but Pasquale is very insistent that you know that he feels better. Terry, however, continues to walk very loudly behind all of you before you all return to see Roxanne floating around the spoon, suffering internally with the rudeness of possibly picking up the spoon, but the very great desire to pick it up. As you all return to where Roxanne floats.
By the time they got back, his tiny little stuffed animal would be sitting on top of the handle of the spoon, guarding it.
Of course it would. Can't tell if Brooke's just an amazing RP or if she's talking to her cat.
She's just standing there screaming at me. I don't know what she wants.
Fair enough. You all return to the spoon as Brooke, another droplet of water falls and lands into the grass and begins to pull you further to the south.
keep following it.
You all follow Brooke?
Pasquale will.
Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, Pasquale will Morningstar and shield out. He's ready to go.
As bits of dried bone are still flaked on your morning star, you're honestly still pretty eager to use it if somebody were to step at you the wrong way. You feel reinvigorated after last night. You've all gotten a full rest. You feel restored. But you follow Brooke and keep a close eye out. I need everybody to roll me a perception check as you follow Brooke.
Including me.
Yes.
Heyo, that's a 19 plus 7. I am perceptive.
23.
26, 23,
24.
24.
My passive is 23.
Squatchy.
Squatchy still has some eye boogers, so he rolled an 8. He's still kind of waking up.
Pasquale?
Squatchy must have sneezed some of that dust in my direction because I have a 9 minus 1 to an 8.
Look at this
Oh,
bottom row
no.
of druids down here and their high perception. As all of you are looking around, Squatchy, you're focusing on getting the eye booger out, in Pasquale, you're kind of doing that. I got some dust in my eye kind of thing here. As Brooke, Roxanne, and Terry, you begin to smell something rank and awful as you move further away from the town. There's a line of trees that you enter. You hope to smell apples, but you do not. Instead, what you smell begins to smell like an outhouse. Matter of fact, it is an outhouse. The water droplet rolls itself up to one of the inn's outhouses that sits far away from the inn in the forest. The water droplet rolls underneath the doorway leading into the outhouse.
It appears that your water droplet went to where people defecate.
Squatchy's gonna ask Pasquale what did he eat last night. Oh,
That's none of your business. It's very difficult to go when you have a bruised coccyx. Trust me.
It
hurts.
Is the door open?
The door is closed currently.
Okay. Sorry, my cat just
doing cat things.
Just doing cat things, you know?
booked it into the room. Can I cast? What's the range? How far?
You're about 20
away
feet
from-
away from this lone standing outhouse. It's, when you think of an outhouse, like a little wooden outhouse with the crescent moon in the front of it, you know, the standard Shrek outhouse. That's what you got.
Can I take 10 minutes and ritually cast a detect magic?
Absolutely, you could.
While
If
this is happening, I would
Assuming
like
no one
to-
walks out of it in that time, hopefully.
Brooke stops and begins tracing in the dirt with her toe a runic circle to ritually cast detect magic. But she says this is going to take her some time. Terry, while this is happening, you had something?
Yeah, Terry's gonna just walk up and open the door.
I was gonna slap it with my my spoon to see if it opened.
Terry and Roxanne kind of give each other a
Hello.
nod and move to the door as Terry pulls it open and slams it as the door slams. You find yourself near an empty outhouse. Terry, you're lucky you don't have a sense of smell. However, your sensors are going off like crazy.
I would assume this smells terrible.
Roxanne recoils, reaches into his pack, and pulls out a strip of cloth that matches his Hawaiian shorts and ties it around his face.
Since you're so small, do you just shrivel up like a raisin since it's so disgusting?
It's like a cartoon. The wings become like jagged and everything real briefly.
Fun fact, he does not need to use his wings. They've been billowing behind him like a cape this whole time.
Good. I would hope so. I mean, who needs the manual labor of flying?
Perhaps it is in here.
Do you dip your hand in the outhouse?
Have no fear, fellows. I am resistant to poison and immune to disease.
Don't you cook with that hand?
Yes.
Do
Roll me
not
an-
make me an omelet with that hand.
Roll me an
I do.
investigation, Terry.
Homage.
Say it again,
That is-
Dexter.
A 19. +0.
A 19. You feel many liquids, some solids, one great large solid. As you tap with your finger and hear the resounding crack of bone.
Oh, I grab it.
You, like a bowling ball, stick 2 mechanical fingers in the eye sockets. One goes in, the other one is blocked by a ruby. As you pull up a filth-covered lich's head.
I have found the lich's head.
Pasquale looks directly at Squatchy. That was not me.
Smells like grandma's swamp water stew. Oh man.
We beat the $3,000 goal even on the extra life thing. Woo woo!
Hype. Some hype in the chat.
Mad hype. Thank you, everybody who participated. Once we do the break, I will
Hype,
make sure to
hype,
read
hype,
off
hype.
the names of the people who did it. But you all are awesome. This is 3 times the goal we plan to do. Hayden and I will figure out something that we can do as a reward for all of you. You're all fantastic. Let's continue.
I'm going to drop the lich head on the ground and cast Produce Flame, and then just pretty much incinerate my hand to just clean it off. That's gonna be great.
I don't know if you've ever had a doggy bag prank on your door, but it doesn't reduce the scent when it's burned.
It makes it worse.
It will clean and purify, but it does, in fact, cause it to be pretty bad for a hot minute. I need everyone who isn't Terry to make me a quick con save.
+2.
Am I far
+2.
away enough?
Do I get advantage because my face is covered?
I'd say probably not, because you're also very tiny.
Oh no.
Friends, why are you vomiting?
Still going?
I rolled a 10 plus 2 and then plus the 2 for the aura, so 14.
Brooke?
Am I close enough to your aura to be getting it right now? I'm like 20 feet away.
Oh, 20 feet? No.
I'm just gonna roll all my dice on the floor.
Friends, why are you all vomiting?
Brooke?
12.
12. Pasquale?
15.
Squatchy?
22.
You all do have a quick gag, but you do keep it inside. You're hardened warriors. This isn't the first time you've smelled something horrible. However, you do wish you were back in the dank crypt. You could take mold over this any day.
I just start taking
dang.
flowers from the ground from my boots and shoving them into my face.
You basically do like a running man in the ground to create a couple very quick flowers and just inhale the scent of lavender and lily.
Squatchy's gonna chase behind her from all the flowers that she's creating as she runs, and he's just gonna like start picking them up and just like whiffing them as well.
I'm going to be repeatingly casting Druidcraft to create small little puffs of lavender in the air. Since I don't have prestidigitation to clean things. But between that, I'm going to I want to cast Create or Destroy Water, and I want to create water, but I want to almost like fire hose it into that head to just blast everything off of it.
That absolutely works for me. As you
Here, let me hold it for you while you do that.
Terry holds it very delicately as you create a sudden jet of water that cleans this thing off. It's like a pressure washer. You're certain it wouldn't cause any damage, but it can at least get this thing clean. As you do so, the force of the water is actually so great that the other ruby eye falls out of the lich's skull.
What have you done?
Am I still holding the other one?
Yeah. Unless somebody told me otherwise.
I don't think so. No.
Pasquale will grab the second one though, and he'll hand it to Brooke. Here.
Okay. Have I been able to complete my ritual of detect magic, or was that interrupted by the rank smell of?
It would have been fine. You didn't lose the con save.
Okay.